This is the Ford Bronco Sport, the younger brother to the incredibly popular mid-size Ford Bronco. Now, as you might imagine, all it really actually shares with the bigger version is the name, a little bit of styling, but otherwise it is its own unique beast. And we're gonna take a look at it today, talk about its specs, and then we only have one purpose: get it as dirty as possible. I really like the full-size, well, mid-size Ford Bronco, and I just did a video on it a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it yet, it's gonna show up right around here or down in the description. So make sure to go watch it and then put a comment down and let us know what you think. But back to this guy, let's go take the Ford Bronco Sport out for a spin and get it muddy. I'm not gonna lie, I have never been one to shy away from driving down a muddy, abandoned trail, and I'm super excited about taking the Ford Bronco Sport down this road. So without further ado, let's get going. Before we get too far down the trail, let's talk about this Bronco Sport, what features it has, and how it's equipped. This is a first edition, which they're only making around 2,000 of. So if you don't have a reservation or an order in already, you're most likely out of luck. But that's okay, because the Badlands edition is pretty much the same thing with its own color scheme. The Ford Bronco Sport is not in any way related to the Bronco under the skin, the powertrain, or the drivetrain. And although they share the same name, the two vehicles are pretty unique in both size, capability, and the way they're designed. The Bronco is more of a mid-size vehicle and has a bigger off-road feature set, whereas the Bronco Sport is designed more for daily driving. And if you watched my video on the Bronco, you'll know that on-road driving and daily commuting is one of my complaints. It was really loud and a little bit annoying. But the Bronco Sport picks up that deficit really nicely. It's actually comfortable on a daily basis and isn't as noisy as the regular Bronco is. This first edition is powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. It makes around 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Now, the base engine is a 1.5-liter, 180 horsepower engine, but that's okay. Each engine, it has its own strong suits, whether it's from fuel economy or power, and this first edition has the more powerful 2-liter engine. And it moves really well. I'm actually highly surprised with how powerful this Ford Bronco Sport is and how quickly it accelerates on the road. Like its bigger brother, the Bronco Sport has Ford's GOAT modes, G-O-A-T, which stand for goes over any type of terrain. You can select between mud, rut, sand, eco, sport, normal, and more driving modes that all configure the engine, transmission, locking rear differential, and four-wheel drive system to be absolutely tuned perfectly for whatever type of road terrain you're encountering. Today we're driving down the same road that we shot our review of the Subaru Outback Wilderness on. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put it up here somewhere in this corner, and you can check it out at your leisure. And it's a abandoned road that is currently being used for logging. It goes along a river, so you can go fishing or just have a nice little stroll with your dog if you wanted to. But for us and our purposes today, it's going to make for a great test of the Bronco Sport's four-wheel drive system and allow us to get this thing as absolutely dirty as possible. One of the things I really like about the Bronco Sport already is its ability to suck up some ruts and bumps. It actually has a little bit more suspension travel, or feels like it has more suspension travel than the Outback Wilderness, which we are using every little bit of it here on this road. Whoa! We're finding every mud puddle we can go through, every rut, putting this thing to the test. Woo! This thing is just sucking up every little bump and asking for more, which is pretty incredible for its size. I don't think we've hit the jounce bars yet or bottomed out the suspension at all. I'm definitely liking this just a little bit more than the Outback Sport. It's a little bit more comfortable and handles all of this stuff with just a little bit more competency. And both these vehicles are around the same price. This first edition is just a shy under $40,000, although the Badlands can be had for just a little bit less than that. But it makes it really comparable to the Subaru Outback Wilderness. Well, I guess we've accomplished our goal of getting the Bronco Sport as dirty as possible extremely well. It's just slathered in mud and muddy water everywhere, so mission accomplished. I guess I'm gonna leave you with this parting words of wisdom. When we drove the regular Bronco on road, we noticed that it was extremely loud and sometimes grating, and where that mid-size Bronco kind of falls short for daily driving on the highway, the Bronco Sport picks it up quite nicely, and its strong suits are daily driving, comfortable on road, a little bit better fuel economy, while still retaining those features, the ability to go down a muddy trail or down by the river to get some fishing done. It can do all of that while still comforting you on the pavement at the same time for your daily commute. And if you're considering the Bronco lineup and you do most of your driving on the highway, this Bronco Sport is going to be the one you want to choose. I'm Zane for Drive Them All, and I'll see you next time.